I can't.
My hymn for her.
Yes, lesbians and nuns. It's like the Age of Enlightenment all over again, except this time there's chemistry. Ooh. Hi guys, welcome to a video, and in today's video I'm just going to be reviewing the Netflix series Warrior Nun, because people won't leave me alone until I do. And by discussing the series, I mean discussing the relationship between Ava and Beatrice, because in my own lesbian opinion, that is the main reason you're gonna want to watch this show. For sure. So if you're not familiar with Warrior Nun, it's about a young woman who wakes up in a morgue and discovers she is the chosen halo bearer for a secret sect of demon hunting nuns. Oh yes, it's like Sister Act meets Buffy. It is. So people kept asking me to talk about this show, and by asking I mean harassing me until I finally caved under the lesbian pressure. So I finally started watching the show, and I wasn't really sure about it at first. But as it went on, I began to understand why A, it has such a huge fan base, and B, why people are so obsessed with the relationship between Ava and Beatrice, because wow, the depth of emotional connection between those two. I mean, it is heavenly, no pun intended. First of all, I love the dynamic between Ava and Beatrice. It's very much little fireball meets strong and stoic, and it gets me every time. It was also really interesting to see the build up of their relationship with one another over the 2 seasons. And even though it's a slow burn, you can see from the beginning there's just this instant connection between the two of them, and clear signs of romantic interest which intensify as time goes on, particularly with the jealousy that they display over other people who they suspect may be honing in on their territory. There's just so many touching moments between these two, but I think the kiss is one of my favourite scenes of theirs just because it was so charged and emotional. There's a lot of little details in the kiss scene, like Beatrice placing her hand on Ava's face, which catches her tear. It was just giving so much emotional depth. There's just so much chemistry and emotional connection between these two, and it's really rare to see that kind of intensity between 2 actors on screen. It doesn't happen all the time, so I'm not surprised that people are so obsessed with their relationship. I also really love the end of episode 2 in season 2 when they're having a moment. Beatrice gets the call just as she's letting Ava know that she's looking out for her in more than just a professional way. The light starts flashing underneath her shirt, right by her heart, and gosh, the direction, the acting, and the editing in this scene is just chef's kiss. And I loved how this scene said so much about their relationship without being explicit. In fact, this show says a lot of things without explicitly saying them, which is a sign of intelligent writing and direction. I also love that beyond the initial coming out scene from Beatrice, which again was just written in a very intelligent way and had so much emotional depth to it, the lesbian aspect isn't really a big deal at all in this show, and Beatrice and Ava's sexuality is not really central to the narrative, which allows the story to progress in other ways. That said, I do also think there's quite an obvious interesting connection between the show being centered around both Christological themes and a lesbian romance. And the show does touch upon that, especially during Beatrice's speech about dealing with her sexuality within a religious environment during episode 8 of season 1. It's a really touching scene, which was not only incredibly well written, again, this scene says so much without being overtly explicit, but the acting was just the cherry on top, and the way that Ava responded to Beatrice in this scene was just really amazing, and it definitely marked the beginning of their intense connection with one another. Albert and Christina are phenomenal actors, and I really mean that. I mean, the both of them have a great emotional range, a willingness to connect and to commit to their characters, reach into the depths of themselves and each other. It's fascinating to watch. As for the show itself, overall I liked it well enough, and I have to say I was very impressed with the production quality. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It's also refreshing to see a female-centric show which doesn't objectify or fetishize women or lesbian relationships. And to add to this, some of the episodes are actually directed and written by women also, which I really appreciated. It's also just refreshing to see a lesbian relationship on a show where sexuality is not the focus of the narrative. It just allows for more growth and exploration in terms of narrative, character development, and relationships. I definitely think season 2 is a lot better than season 1. In my opinion, season 2 was an improvement in almost all areas of the show. Whilst Warrior Nun is very watchable, for me personally, the relationship between Ava and Beatrice is what kept me invested. The only thing I'm slightly concerned about is that this show is very much life or death, and there's a lot of intense declarations and emotional moments, including the whole self-sacrifice arc, which I feel could potentially make for a sad ending between the two of them in the future. I know the show isn't a rom-com and a happy ending isn't necessarily the goal of this show, but still, I'm scared to see what might happen. But I guess we'll have to just stay tuned and find out. So I hope it gets renewed for a 3rd season. I really do, but it's Netflix and you know Netflix. You know how it be. You know how it be. Okay guys, if you've seen Warrior Nun, let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments section below. If you're a lesbian, if you're a woman who appreciates nuns. No, I'm sorry. Come and join the Suffolk Underground Club. Just come and join it. It's what lesbian Jesus would want you to do. It's what lesbian Jesus would want. I know, because I'm like tight with, you know, so okay. Don't forget to subscribe for instant disappointment, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.